Alrighty, it is PlayStation 1 time. One of my smaller collections. It's a combination of a bunch of different reasons. I love the PlayStation 1 generation, but when collecting, it's hard to find games for cheap, and I am definitely a budget collector. And also, a lot of these games are getting remade. They don't hold up very well, especially the 3D ones. The PS1 3D, that was kind of like the dawn of 3D gaming. So a lot of them don't hold up very well. So I don't know. It's just going to be a slow go on collecting for PS1 for me. Especially, I'm very picky. I don't like having scratched discs, and I want the manual, and I like the original cases and stuff like that. So. But let's get through them. I do have actually a PS1, the Slim model, and then I also have a PS Classic that I've like hacked and have some games on a SD card. And I've got those are the controllers for the PS Classic. And then I of course have the PS2 over there hooked up to the CRT, which was backwards compatible with all these PS1 games, so I can play PS1 games old school like I originally did in the 90s. But yeah, and there are some really good games in here, so let's get to them. And I have 50. I don't know if I said that, but I've got 50 games. I just checked. Not sure how much of an increase that is from last year. It's a little bit, I'm sure, but probably not as much as some of my other collections. First up, we've got Williams Arcade's Greatest Hits. This is, once again, I have this collection of games in 14 different ways. It's got Joust, it's got Defender, Sinister, just a lot of fun classic arcade games that I enjoy. We've got Army Men 3D. I remember playing this game a bunch as a kid. I am a 90s kid. I was born in 85, so a lot of these games back then, when we had a game other than when we rented games, I would play and play and play and play some of these games. So, like, I don't have Suikoden 2 in this collection. It's my favorite game of all time. We rented that game, and I wish I had bought it back in the day because that game's worth a lot of money. But I do have the HD remasters now on PS5, which is so awesome. A random little tangent there. We've got Army Men Sarge's Heroes 2. I don't think I've ever played that game, to be honest. We've got Chrono Cross, kind of a classic game that people always want to be remade, or another game in the series. I don't really remember it much, so I don't think it was one of my top games. We've got Colony Wars. I love these fat boxes. Never played that one. That was like a thrift store pickup. Command and Conquer Red Alert. This game's notorious for not performing that well on the PS1. Of course, me and my uncle were huge Command and Conquer fans. Still upset that EA kind of killed this franchise. We played them on PC a ton, and I have played this on PlayStation. You can use the mouse on PlayStation and play it, but it just does not run well on the PS1. And there have been remasters and remakes of that game on PC that you can play. So we got Cool Borders 2001. Who didn't play Cool Borders back in the day? Now we got our classics, our Crash Bandicoot. Of course, this game came with my PS1. I think my original one that I had in the 90s played a ton of Crash Bandicoot. Hard games. Then I've got Crash Bandicoot 2, also a really fun game. I loved Crash Team Racing. I have the remaster on PS4 that we played a ton of too. Honestly, I would take another Crash kart racer. The original Driver. I don't remember playing that a bunch. That is a hole in the PS1 game collection. The Dukes of Hazzard. This is another, pick up at a thrift store or something. I have a lot of those. Final Fantasy Origins. I have never played Final Fantasy 1 through 6, but I have them all on PS1. And then now I have that new set on PS4, which is really cool. I love that my cat has just decided that it wants to be in every video. But anyways, I always thought it was cool that they put these games. These are like original NES games, I think these two. But I have the Pixel remaster, so if I ever do go to play these Final Fantasy games, that's how I'll probably play them. So we've got Final Fantasy IV and then Chrono Trigger in this fat box set here. Then we have Final Fantasy Anthology, which is 5 and 6. A lot of people still consider 6 to be the greatest Final Fantasy ever made, so that is probably the one I would play from this old set. Really cool. I think I fired 6 up on the PS1 back before that Pixel Collection came out, and I was going to play it, and then I never did. Final Fantasy 7, this is one of those games that I had and played so much back in the day, multiple playthroughs. When you're a kid and you only have a select few games, like I said, you just play the same things over and over again. And Final Fantasy 7, we played a ton of. Also played a ton of Final Fantasy 8. Once 7 had us hooked, I don't like that it has a crack in it, but once Final Fantasy had us hooked, it had us hooked. Final Fantasy 9, same thing. Was a big Final Fantasy guy. Still am to this day because of these 3 games right here. They were game changing at the time, and they're just really fun fantasy games. I've never played Final Fantasy Tactics. I want the remaster of this, or I guess it's a remake of this game. No, it's probably more a remaster. That's on PS5 right now. I have it in my Christmas wish list, so I may end up getting it, or if not, I'll probably buy it myself eventually. And I picked up these just for nostalgia purposes and just to say that I have what started it all. I've never played them. I probably do need to give them a try. I heard they are not fun to play, but I do have the original top-down Grand Theft Auto for PS1. And then Grand Theft Auto 2 for PS1. Next up, we've got Tiny Toon Adventures, The Great Beanstalk. I honestly have no idea. I think I picked this up in a set or something that I bought. Grudge Warriors. I don't know what this is either. It's like some kind of, vehicle combat game. We got Hexen. I remember playing this on PC. It's another like Doom type game, but not really, but by the same creators. Killer Loop. I think this was a racing game or something. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, another PlayStation 1 classic, Legend of Dragoon. Remember playing a ton of this back in the day. And this is another game that people really want a sequel or a remake for. And I would also enjoy that. I think that would be a cool thing to have. I remember finding this at Goodwill for like $2. And it's like some kind of music creation generator game. You got like 3,000 instruments. I think it's kind of like GarageBand for a Mac, but for PlayStation. And then I've always been a big fan of the Need for Speed games. I don't have the first one because it's a long box game. And I don't really want long box games. I mean, I'm not saying if somebody gave it to me, I wouldn't take it, but I don't really go out looking for them. But honestly, I didn't play the first Need for Speed a ton anyways. Matter of fact, I didn't even really play this one a bunch. This is my first go with Need for Speed, and that was Hot Pursuit 2. Played a ton of this, and or this is the first Hot Pursuit. Sorry, it's Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. This is what got me into Need for Speed. And then I also have High Stakes, another PS1 Need for Speed. And then I have, of course, as you've seen, a ton of PS2 and PS3 and PS4 Need for Speeds. Pong. It's Pong. That's all I'm going to say. It's Pong. Then the original Ridge Racer, the one that started it all. We've got Risk. I've always been a fan of Risk. I have this on PS2. I am playing it on PC right now, the current version. I love Risk Factions. I just like the game of Risk. Oh, talking of games, I was always a big fan on the Sega Genesis because we had a Genesis as a kid too, of the Road Rash games. When Road Rash 3D came out on PS1, I mean, this was my life for like a straight year. I played this game non-stop. I freaking love Road Rash 3D. Yeah, so when I started collecting for PS1, this was like the first game I got because it was like, this was the game I remember playing so much. I still fire it up in there on the classic TV. It's just so freaking fun. I never played Road Rash Jailbreak, which I think is a more old school Road Rash game. It's not 3D like that one. I need to play it because honestly, I probably love it. I love the Road Rash games. I talked about it in my PS2. I love Downhill Domination, which is basically a spiritual successor to Road Rash. And I am still upset that that EA killed that franchise. I'm probably the only one left on the planet still hankering for Road Rash. But I have Spyro Year of the Dragon. Of course, played Spyro back in the day. I have the Reignited trilogy. I need to replay them on there. SimCity, I am a huge SimCity nut. I played all the way to SimCity 4 till, once again, as a lot of these EA games, EA just decided we're done making SimCity games. And now I play City Skylines. I played a bunch of this on PC too. This game actually doesn't run too bad on PlayStation 1. Star Ocean: The Second Story. Such a cool game. Probably will never play this version again because I think the remake slash remaster 2D HD thing they did on PS5 is such a cool recreation of this game. Honestly, I hope they do that with some of the other Star Ocean games, especially one. But this was another game we had at the house. We played it a ton. We replayed it. Great game. Star Wars Dark Forces. I didn't get into the Star Wars games in the PS1 era, but I picked a bunch of them up, like Rebel Assault 2, to try at some point in time. Also got Jedi Power Battles. Tony Hawk, big PS1 Tony Hawk fan. We had the demo disc for the longest time, and then Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was probably the game I played the most. But once again, these games I'll probably never play. I guess you to get the original music and to like really get in the feel. I shouldn't say I'll never play them, but I love the remakes on PS5. It takes you back. It's just enough nostalgia. And I just recently picked up 3 and 4, so I've got those as well. Which 4 is a PS2 one, and then Twisted Metal 2, specifically Twisted Metal 2. More games that we played like a ton. Like this was our. I mean, this was kind of like, I don't even know. I know a lot of people were playing Doom back in these times. This was our game that we would just sit on the couch, play till the end of times, me and my brothers. Non-stop Twisted Metal. I love Twisted Metal 2. I do also have Twisted Metal 3. I need to get the first Twisted Metal. I still don't have that one. It's a harder find, I think. And then I have Twisted Metal 4. Then I also have, as you've seen, Twisted Metal Black on PS2, and then the Twisted Metal remake on PS3. I liked both of those, specifically Twisted Metal Black. I really enjoyed. Kind of what I always called was like knockoff Twisted Metal that we played, and I need to get the second game of this, but it was never as good as Twisted Metal. But we got Vigilante 8, and then there is a second Vigilante 8 that I need to still pick up. Wipeout, the original Wipeout. The newer entries into this franchise are more impressive. Wipeout has always been about like the music and the vibes. And then my final game for PS1 is Wrecking Crew Drive Dangerously. I think I just picked this up because it's more car combat kind of games, and that was kind of my thing in the PS1 days. But yeah, that's my collection. I mean, 50 games. Honestly, that's a pretty cool set. I don't feel like I spent a ton of money for those games. Like I said, I'm kind of a budget collector, so it'll grow as it grows. I'm also not going back and playing PS1 games a ton. Like I said, they've got a lot of remakes and redos, and they don't hold up that great. But anyways, that's my PS1 collection. And I guess next up will be the Switch collection, which I didn't even have a Switch collection last year, so that'll be a cool one to go through. And yeah, until next time, this is Rainy Cage. Peace out.